Hello, everyone. Happy heckin' Saturday. Welcome to the penultimate episode of our ongoing Heart series. This is, in fact, episode 6. Just dropping in.
Just dropping in. Yeah.
Just dropping in. As you do. Welcome on. Thank you all for being here. Thanks so much for hanging out. Gonna really quickly say our thank yous to Roll20 for the Roll20 Spotlight program. They are, of course, who we are using for this wonderful heckin' sheet that you can see with our maps and all our characters stuff and all our inventory where we keep collecting cursed items. Wait, is that just me? Who knows? It's fine. Or breaking our heels or whatever it is we're doing. You can see it all here live because Jordan made this beautiful, beautiful setup for us in Roll20. So don't forget to check out Roll20 and all their cool stuff. Play some games for yourself. We also, of course, want to thank Roa and Ochre, who made this game and make many other cool games. And just as a reminder that the next time we will be playing, it will be our final episode. It will be our finale of this show. And that Rowan Rook and Deckard has been generous enough to give us a whole bundle of amazing heart stuff to give away, so don't miss out. Come hang out with us for Halloween. We're doing the whole Extra Life that weekend. We're raising funds for Extra Life, but also come here, check out the finale of this game, and get yourself a chance to win all this amazing heart content. It is very, very heckin' cool stuff. It's a really cool system. They make very cool games. I'm gonna remember to say it this time. We have a way for you to mess with us in the game. Sometimes I forget to talk about this, but I'm not today. We have the knock at the door. It is a button you can see down below. It is also something you can call up into the chat with !knock. Do not believe the bar on the screen. It was being finicky. Tech was being techie. The heart does what it wants, and it fiddled with our bar, and it won't let me erase it back down to 0. We did have a knock at the door just near the end of our last episode, I believe, and thus we are back down to 0, so we need to get all the way back up to have another knock at the door and another in-game intrusion, another scary event or mysterious door opening up into the heart, all that good stuff. And yeah, I think that's all the preamble I need to do. So hi everyone, I'm Jess. Thanks so much for being here. This is my channel, and I'm heckin' happy to have you. You can find me at go_JG in all the places. And here today I am playing Mellifera, the Deep Aperist, who does not have a bunch of bees wearing berets, despite everyone's requests before we went live today. Everyone requested all my bees be wearing berets. And, I don't know, maybe we'll see. Maybe, I don't know, maybe if you all want to knock at the door, maybe we could convince Jordan to give all of my 1,000 bees living inside my bee body.
A door
tiny
opens
berets.
and a bunch of tiny berets spill out?
No, like a bunch of tiny, bee
haberdashers?
Haberdashers, tiny bee haberdashers come out.
Will
Okay,
they have little French mustaches?
I mean, if they don't, are they French bee haberdashers?
No, they have to have the little mustache.
Also, I think French bee haberdasher is going to be my next RPG character.
Yes, good.
Like, B as in their middle initial is B. French bee haberdasher, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you all so much who are still here despite everything that just happened. That is actually how some of this goes, so if you enjoyed that, get ready for more. Let's go around and say hi to everyone. Let's go. Please tell us who you are, who you're playing. Next up is Sharon.
Hi everyone, I'm Sharon. You can find me on Twitter. My handle is @chew_baka. Today I will be playing Ochre, who is a hound. Not a literal dog, but it's kind of like a city watch kind of character. It's very interesting playing a character that's wanting to maintain order in a place that sounds inherently chaotic as the heart. Ochre is also just a very put together person. Her delving heels got broken on our most recent delve, so she's gonna have to get around to fixing those. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with her outfit. It's me.
Awesome. Perfect. Next up is Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitter at @SamUndamiel. And today I bring to you Vantage, the dead walker, who is finally back home to their graveyard, and nothing bad is ever going to happen again.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. So, dead walkers have died poorly in that the death was poorly executed. They didn't die. They died. They're not dead. There we go. And their
Didn't
death
take.
follows them. Yeah, it just didn't take. And doesn't generally cause mischief, but does want to kill you eventually. And in the meantime, will help you kill other people.
Yeah. Keeps you alive so that it can kill you when it's ready.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. So it's like you don't die. Nobody kills you but me.
But me, yeah.
A dead walker's death is a very jealous death. Very protective.
You don't get to die by anybody else's hands. Just
Yeah.
me. It's beautiful. It's beautiful romance.
Very romantic. I love it. Speaking of romances. Hi, Ryan.
Hi. So I'm Ryan. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Roa, uses he and they pronouns. Roa is a witch and definitely not a bibliophile. But, books are just kind of, well, they're good to keep around. Not that I want books around, because writing is bad, but, just... It's the leather, the binding. Bookbinding is just such an interesting craft.
It's a collecting thing, yeah.
I don't read them. I just collect them.
Yes. Exactly.
They're nice to, look at, I guess. Amazing. And, doing everything else there is to do in Heart. Jordan?
Oh,
It's me. You are right, Sam?
You shouldn't keep a crystal ball in the sun.
Okay.
Oh no.
Nothing's on fire.
Good.
Oh, magnifying glass styles. Yeah.
I was like, smells like something's burning. It's fine.
Well, no one saw that coming.
No!
With crystal ball. Okay, so, last session. sorry, Sharon. Last session, we finally made it back to Baffling Din. After a harrowing escape, fleeing from the Temple of Sagacity, one of the temples of the moon beneath, which subconsciously or inadvertently Mellifera's bees destroyed, with the help of the strange beetles that they had received, from Rubius Crowfer in exchange for returning the bone dog. In hopes of having no incidents like that happen again, Mellifera dumped all of the remaining beetles, with the help of Roa's surgical touch, all over themselves in the back of their fleeing wagon. And if I remember correctly, the tooth was removed. The tooth that had been embedded in Mellifera for some time.
Yeah, I feel like they ate it.
They did. The beetles
The
fought.
beetles did.
The beetles fought in the bottle for it.
That was ironic. They like chomped it down.
Yeah, eating a tooth. It's kind of... It's like Ouroboros or something. So, the tooth that chews itself. So, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. This game has my brain so rattled with teeth. So, we had a knock at the door, which was a group of druids from the Redcap Market that were looking for safe harbor on their journey deeper into the heart. They were banging at a door, and then Ochre went into full hound mode to make sure that they were not up to no good. And then they were let in and immediately just scattered all over Baffling Din. There were some conversations had between Ochre and the I guess the de facto mayor, I guess is what she is. Shoot, what's her name again?
Audacia Garnet.
Audacia, yeah. Who made a big deal about getting Ochre back, and then when Ochre finally got back, Ochre was told that she just needed to keep doing her job, that there was no real emergency, other than Audacia didn't want to do Ochre's job. But the last thing that happened was, as Ochre was going through the strangely massive pile of reports that she had to deal with, she discovered one that said that Baffling Din was growing limbs, had grown a limb, which co-aligns with many visions and portents that have been seen, that she has seen leading up to this. But we're actually going to do a bit of a time jump here. Not long, but like, a dozen or so bells have gone by, and you've all sort of settled back in. But Ochre, the reports of the limbs of parts of Baffling Din, which is always in flux for anyone who's new here. It's a vertical apartment block town that is constantly shifting, sometimes on its own whims, sometimes on the whims of its denizens, but which is unusual in its own, but it's very unusual for it to be growing anything that resembles a humanoid limb. And Ochre, you have been investigating more and more of them accumulating over the time that that you've been back. 12 bells is maybe like 3 or 4 days. And every time you have the apiarists kind of come and trim it, like they would trim any part. They would trim any part that was superfluous or dangerous. But these grasping arms keep getting bigger and bigger, and the latest time actually endangered a couple of the pups. They, you found the pups trying to rescue one of their own from this. I guess in the scale of things, it would be something like a giant's arm, like it would be like 6 or 7 feet long, and it was dangling one of the pups out off of the side of Baffling Din, and they, of course, were able to kind of rescue them and bring them in, but it's starting to become a real problem, and you are struggling to kind of keep it a secret from people. Would you have kept it a secret from the other 3 of your crew?
Probably not, since they're also kind of community leaders. And Mellifera is a deep apiarist, so there's no way they would have not heard about it.
Okay. So that's sort of what you've been up to, trying to predict and get ahead of when these things are showing up. And your dreams at night are filled with visions of Baffling Din moving, like eventually getting all of the limbs it needs to start moving around, which is, the culmination of all the visions that you've been having. What have the rest of you been up to? Let's start with Vantage.
Okay.
What would Vantage be up to over the past few days in Baffling Din?
Well, did the druids stay?
There are more than just the hat still remaining. A bunch of them have moved into the hat's tree, and you can hear them having heated discussions at night sometimes, and also garbled chanting, drug fueled, obviously mushroom fueled chants and things. So yeah, there's some of them left, but it seems like still half a dozen or so stuck around and are staying with the hat in the tree made of chairs, or the chairs made into a tree, depending on how you want to look at it.
Well, I'm sure the hat runs entirely on mushroom anyway.
Oh sure.
So
He grows his own in his own beard, if we recall.
again, too close to cannibalism.
That's your point of view on it, I guess.
I think Vantage would have been kind of keeping an eye on these druids in the tree that is very close to the graveyard in general.
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm doing my own graveyard thing, they're getting high and chanting.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're anything like the hat, draping themselves in places they don't belong. My graveyard, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So, just not hitting them with a broom, but sweeping them out.
It seems
And
that
then-
since they've gotten here as well, the tree has gotten bigger.
Oh no.
And now part of it is one of its chair limbs. It's got some stools that have grown out, and it seems to be hanging over the little stone wall that's around the so sometimes they're even inside graveyard property.
I think I've threatened to cut the limb.
Right.
Yeah, I have some loppers that are probably rusted and old because you don't really need loppers in Baffling Din.
No.
Someone brought it down here once. I'll fucking do it.
So basically just having a stare down with the druids is what you've been doing.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Drinking whiskey in front of my house and staring down the druids while cleaning my gun.
Okay. That seems to be reasonable. All right, Mellifera. I guess as Ochre has mentioned, you've probably been helping with this. How do you feel about the fact that Baffling Din is starting to? Because until now, it would grow, but it would grow things that belonged in abodes. It would grow furniture, and if it was grow anything big, it would be rooms. Sometimes it's just a closet, sometimes it's a whole apartment. Occasionally something even bigger, the interior of a large house, which usually has to be trimmed down because the weight is too much on the upper parts of Baffling Din. But now it's still made out of wood and screws and fabric, but it's growing things that visibly resemble arms and hands. And so how does Mellifera feel about this?
We do not like anything that doesn't belong. So I think we would, in fact... I think we would want to check in with the other deep vaporists and ask them, what has been done about this? What are they doing to solve this problem? Why are there so many limbs?
So the other deep apiarists seem less concerned with it. Collectively, there is a growing group of them that isn't fond of the pups, only because the pups kind of seem to be in their mind, causing a lot of the chaos. And basically, your beekeeper underlings seem to think that, if the pups weren't causing problems, then they wouldn't have gotten in trouble by, their actions, their chaotic actions are causing them to get in trouble with the chaotic nature of, and they don't seem to be super concerned. They can just trim arms, it isn't a big deal to them.
So from their perspective, the pups are the underlying cause.
Well, as far as the pups getting in trouble, they're not. They blame the pups. They're pup shaming.
This is a sad day. These deep paperists blaming these poor pups for their problems. Sounds to me weren't even doing the work. If you want to find the actual cause of this problem, I agree. We should root it out and destroy it mercilessly. However, if you do not have any proof that it is the pups, then you should stop bothering them.
Are you talking to a specific?
I don't know. Whoever has the nerve to tell me that they're going around and trimming the limbs, but really it's the whoever it is that thinks it's gonna go well to complain to me about the pups. That's who gets this earful.
So when deep paperists argue, I imagine it's very muted, and a lot of just carefully worded statements and standing around quietly buzzing, and so very few of them speak up once they have been sort of chastised by Mellifera, and eventually they all kind of agree with you generally and scatter, but one remains, who is looking at you with an almost a grin on their face, which is unusual for the apiarists. This is a younger apiarist, or new to the group, and they just go by their number, 0814, Hive 0814, and they say, "What's so wrong with a little change?" This place changes all the time. Why is this any different?
You like change, and you would like to see more of it. You are welcome to go out and venture into the heart yourself. However, Baffling Din was created as a bastion, a safe haven against the heart, and therefore we will maintain it as is. And if you do not like that, you can leave.
But Baffling Din grows in strange ways all the time. New ways, constantly. Why is this any different? What about this upsets you so much, Mellifera?
It doesn't necessarily upset me. What upsets me is that we don't yet know the cause, and until we do, we must keep safe and be wary. And if you want to help by going to find what the cause of this is, and we can confirm it is not an issue, then we will allow it to continue. However, if we find out it is, we will destroy it.
Then I will return to my duties. And 0815 smiles, and a bee crawls out of their mouth as they smile, and sort of up their cheek, and you can see that the bee's kind of purplish or bluish purple glow is more more leaning towards a red. And there's also what looks like ivory or something details in the bee. And then they, I don't know, bow. I imagine there's a lot of bowing with the deep acres, and then turn on a heel and head out.
I will allow them to start going away, and then I will send my bee spies after them.
Okay. All right, we'll come back to you. Roa, I have a special treat for Roa. Over the about a day ago, Montserrat came to visit, and they've been here with you for a day. What were you and Montserrat doing? You don't need to go into great detail or whatever, or if you don't think that they would be staying with you or whatever, there's certainly places they could stay. But Montserrat came to Baffling Din, looking for you.
No, I'm sure that Roa opened their house to Montserrat.
Right.
And I think at some point, like probably on like in a quiet evening, whatever evening might mean here, Roa began to share some of the things that he saw on their last delve.
It was also fortuitous because Montserrat came with another journal for you, just as you were finishing the last one. Because you've just been, I imagine, compelled to fill it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost as though Montserrat knew that you were going to need more. And they have this little bundle of 3 in their hands when the door opens. So you spend the day excitedly showing. Also, there's illustrations, right, that are
yes.
forming, right? And Montserrat says, "This is wonderful. I mean, what matters, of course, is that you are truthful to yourself with the words that you write down. But the illustrations, those are. And I didn't know that you were an artist."
Neither did I. They sort of formed themselves. The ink took control. I was actually hoping that maybe you would have some insight.
As bookbinders, we are tasked with documenting, just like you've done. And some folks, some of us stumbled upon this role late in our lives. Some of us felt destined or called towards it. And rarely is someone just obviously so in touch with tracking their own story that words, and in this case, images, spill across the page involuntarily. I don't know what it is that you did before this, Roa, but I feel as though your calling is in the written word.
To ensure that I understand you, you are suggesting that somehow I am so in tune with documenting my experiences that I can somehow almost will words and illustrations into existence.
Well, yes, that seems to be what's occurring. It's a skill acquired after much training for a bookbinder, and as they speak again, the whole conversation is being recorded on their book face, and and Montserrat gestures at their face. This is something that took a long time once I joined the Bookbinders to be skilled at, and yet it comes to you naturally. What is your relationship with books? What have your experiences been up until now?
Well, I am a part of an order that has forbidden reading and writing. A perversion of language. Language is ephemeral, by its nature, not something that can remain permanent, and to take it and try and make it persist is the greatest of blasphemies, and I dared to read despite it all.
That is surprising to hear. What was the book that broke your oath?
The Sanguine Tract. A book written in the blood of a witch, and the reason that I am what I am now. I think Roa kind of tries to hide their hands, whereas some of the more canine features are still apparent after changing forms multiple times recently.
Mm-hmm. Montserrat reaches out with their hand and puts it over yours, and says, "Good books change us. Yeah, all books. And from my observations, I think that you have been given a great gift that you should not be ashamed of."
I think Roa looks directly at what I guess substitutes as eyes, Montserrat, and says, well, I am undeniably changed.
I think that you should come to the library with me when I return. I have much to show you there.
I think that maybe I should.
Perhaps your friends would be interested in joining. I'm sure they have questions that need answered, and the Towering Library Categorical has books on every subject.
Right, my friends. Yes, we should invite them as well.
But I'll assure you, Roa, that I will give you the private tour.
I would like that.
While Ryan is blushing, I will thank our raiders from Open for Adventure for raiding. So welcome aboard during this tender moment between a witch and their book friend. Book more than friends? Book with benefits? We will find out. Okay. So it sounds like maybe for Mellifera and Ochre, a little bit of investigation is needed to try and figure out perhaps what's been going on as the state of things is getting out of hand or getting into hand shapes all over the place. So where would you start? Where do you want to start looking around?
I don't know if Ochre has started to do anything, but like Mellifera would go and let her know as soon as they sent some bee spies after that suspicious apiarist.
Oh, right. They...
Like, I would probably send them and then go get Ochre. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Okay. As you arrive to where, Ochre, where are you, and where would Mellifera find you?
I would not really know where to start looking,
Right.
so I would probably still be home trying to go through reports and try to find a common thread.
Okay.
So that's where I would be.
All right. So Mellifera, you find yourself standing in front of Ochre's door, because that's where Baffling Din needed you to be, and inside you find Ochre going through reports, trying to find connections between things. And as you sit down, your bee spies return to you, just as you're about to talk to Ochre. And you get a sort of vision through their eyes, basically, of the apiarists going about their day, doing their tasks, patching up things, adjusting the various sound-making gadgets that are all over the place. But they also have you also see them having a conversation with one of the druids. Something is exchanged. It's out of view of the bees, of your spies, because you could get very close to, because bees are everywhere in Baffling Din. You get very close to a person who wasn't an apiarist, but getting close to a deep apiarist with your own bees, their bees immediately know, when there's so. You kind of have to hang back. So you're effectively getting something like security cam footage that doesn't have a lot of audio. It's just quick visions, honey-colored sepia visions of the day, like the few, maybe an hour of activity from this apiarist. The last thing that they see and they rush back because of is that something is exchanged between them and one of the druids. So just as you're sitting down and Ochre is looking at you for why you're here, you get this vision.
Their eyes do a little bit of a loading screen while they
That's
process
right.
it.
We like reload the bees back in. They come in and we just like, they go in the earport, like as they do. Yeah, so we would definitely take a second and like reload our bees. And then, any luck on your investigations, Ochre?
Kind of gesture towards the reports scattered around. I am not even sure where to start. Have you seen any sort of leads?
Well, there does seem to be an apiarist, one of the newer ones. 0815? 0815 is being very suspicious. They are baring their teeth in an upward lipping motion and going and speaking with the druids. They seem to be up to something. Their bees aren't quite right.
How are bees not right?
Like this. These are good bees, and I like show you my bees.
They are the best bees.
These are the best bees. These are my babies.
You're doing their beast.
They're doing their bees. See how they are healthy and lively and give off a nice glow. Those bees do not.
Ochre, when you look at Mellifera's bees, it's hard to separate them now from what they look like once they had been changed back in the temple. Like you know that what she's saying is what they're saying is true, but you also basically your mind is still like, it's as though you can see through the bees and see the kind of heart influence that's underneath. So I imagine Mellifera's voice kind of gets a little like muted as you sort of your mind sort of focuses on the bees too closely until they finish being like the perfect bees, and
Oh,
so you're kind of distracted during this.
yeah. Perfect bees. Don't know how I missed that before.
Yes, those of our hive give off a healthy bluish glow.
Yes.
The
A lot of
bees,
healthy things glow blue.
yes. Well, we do. And the bees of 0815 aren't quite the right color.
What would a wrong color be?
Red, like the heart.
Do you need help tailing this 0815? I could send my pups.
Actually, I suppose if you wanted to send the pups after them, that might be good, as they would sense if my hive gets too close.
Next time I see them, I'll let them know. They're a bit on edge about the whole hands, limbs, arrangements as well.
So they did not cause it, right?
No. They're... I wouldn't say that they are always logical and predictable, but even something going as far as giant limb dangling one of their own over a precipice is a bit far.
Yes, some of the Apiarists are angry at the pups, and I just don't think that's a valid explanation, so it seems illogical to me that they would blame the pups when clearly there's some other issue here.
I've been poring over everything. It can't have been the druids. It can't have been that because my first report predates when we let them in. And they've only been here for a few days. I think they're camped over by Vantage's place, and there's no way that they would let them get up into anything nefarious. Right?
Mellifera, while you've been having this discussion behind Ochre's desk, there's a vent that has slowly, the screws in it have been unscrewing somehow, and the first one falls, clink, 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 and then the other three in succession. And you can see on the last screw, the vent kind of falls down and hangs, and there are two sets of glowing eyes peering out from inside, and then one leads forward, and it's a pup.
Ochre, a friend of yours?
I'm sorry. Oh. Come out of the vent. I told you that's a very suspicious place to be.
It's how we see stuff, boss. It's how we look around. It's our home.
But you should try to avoid being seen exiting them. Come out here.
We go as we please, boss. You know this. We do what we want.
Just a helpful hint.
And the two pups that are in the vent unfold themselves simultaneously from. There shouldn't be enough. Yeah, there's two sets of eyes. There shouldn't be enough room in this vent for them to squeeze out, but they both kind of just. The elasticity of a pup knows no bounds, and they both kind of pull themselves out, and then drop gingerly to the ground on either side of your desk. One immediately starts going through your stuff, and the other one says, "Those beekeepers don't like us, boss."
Yeah, Mellifera was just telling me all about it.
They says we're the reason that Baffling Din's getting handsy.
And we know that's wrong, right?
Why would we dangle the pup, boss? Why would we dangle the pup?
Exactly. I have a request for extra eyes, ears, noses.
Oh, we've got lots of those, boss.
Good.
Lots of eyes and lots of ears.
No word on the noses, though?
Pups can sniff good enough. But
Um,
Peepin's our favorite.
Peep over to an apiarist 0815. Mellifera, can you describe them a little more?
They are young and new, not someone you've seen for very long, and their hive gives off an unhealthy glow.
Got it. What about those stink gardeners that have been wandering around?
Oh, they haven't been contained? They haven't been contained?
Well, we wasn't told that the druids weren't allowed to walk around.
I suppose I will have to talk to them myself. They promised to have left, that they would leave a few days ago. Have you been keeping eyes on where they've been going?
They've been poking their fingers in all sorts of places, boss. They've been doing almost more peeping than we've been doing.
Don't let yourselves get outdone.
Ain't no one out peep. ain't no one out peep a pup, boss. We got our eyes on the prize, boss.
Knew I could count on you. Is there anything that you think has been strange about where the druids have been?
They've just been bringing in. At first, we pups thought, oh, new friends, it's good. They bring in little pets, little friends, little fur balls. But sometimes I see them go down an alley and then they come back out and they ain't got the fur ball no more.
Do you think they're planting them or eating them?
Wouldn't put either past them, boss.
We should probably go speak to Vantage. Vantage has likely had to deal with the largest number of them, I suspect.
Out of character, how many did we let in last session? Like,
There was like a dozen or so of them.
Yeah, okay. Alright, thanks. Yeah, so in character, Ochre's gonna say, yeah, I suppose that was a very large number for them to keep an eye on this whole time. Shall we head over now? Is there anything else you want to tell me while we're alone? Ish.
I know, boss, you want us to not do the vent stuff, but can we do the vent stuff right now?
Yeah, you can do the vent stuff. You're really good at it.
It's just safer in the vents. And the sewers and the tunnels.
And you can still see and hear from there, right?
We're always watching, boss.
Good. Good job. Make sure to put the screws back in, though. Can be suspicious.
Righto, boss. Leave no trace. And they both climb back in. Basically, the other one has, like, grabbed any food that you had out, and has just stuffed their pockets with it, and they're small. They're like 10 to 12-year-olds, and yet somehow they always can just reach up to where they need to get and pull themselves in. And the two of them, again, just squeeze into this vent, which isn't much more than like this, and then they're gone. And somehow
It's like a clown car, right?
Yeah, but it's more, the squishing is so much more visible as they're doing it. You know, there's no trick to it. They just somehow are compressing themselves to fit inside, and very carefully the screws which had been gathered just get screwed backwards back into the vent somehow on the other side. I don't have an explanation for this, but
It's like a cartoon rewind, like
that's
just
right,
like.
yeah. They just like dink 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 up to the and then in. You think you're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone else.
There are no obvious eyes that don't belong to us.
Mm-hmm. Any last words, Mellifera, before you head out?
I just don't believe the pups are doing all this, and I think it's foolish to believe that they are the cause. And I don't like that there seems to be that many of the hive seem to be convinced of that. It's suspect to me.
Yeah. Mellifera, do you still dream?
We don't really have a use for dreams. I don't dream, right? I'm pretty sure I don't. Like,
it's up to you. You have dreams about the heart for sure.
Yeah, I have had dreams, but it's not normal for me to like sleep and dream. We kind of just like shut down for the night.
It's up to you whether you dream or not. And I'll go with from there.
We don't have use for dreams, and yet we have had some.
Have you ever felt like something was trying to tell you something through your dreams?
Perhaps. But we try to not listen.
Yeah, that does seem like the wisest course of action, correct? Anything that must reach you through dreams is not a creature of logic.
Ochre, you are highly valued, not only in this community, but in the community of hounds. We believe you would know best if your dreams were messages to listen to or not. What do you think?
I think I've been trying my best for a long time.
Do you have dreams you think we need to heed?
Well, let's just try to keep this limb situation from getting out of control. That would be bad, no matter what.
Read. The 0815 had some funny talk about letting things change along with the heart. We didn't like that. I reminded them that Baffling Din is safe space from the heart song.
This is supposed to be a place of stability and shelter. Do you know where they came from? 0815.
Do I know where 0815 came from?
I would say that most new apiarists find their way to Baffling Din on their own from Derelictus or something. Derelictus has a bunch of like recruiting stations basically that distribute out apiarists to do different tasks for the greater hive, and so they were just the last one to be sent. And apart from yourself, everyone else, probably every other apiarist would be sent the same way, so there's nothing unusual about it. Their experience on their way to Baffling Din, you don't know, but
Yeah. They came to us the same as any other.
All right. Well, let's see if the pups find out anything. And to Vantages.
Yes.
Vantage, you are being visited by your good friend, whose name I totally remember. That I'm definitely not looking up right now.
The dancer?
Yeah, that we've had
Imogen?
a flashback. Imogene, that's right.
Yeah.
The strange kind of pub inn bar that unnamed as of yet that exists in Baffling Din doesn't really open until later in the day, and so occasionally she joins you for coffee or something in the mornings, and she is sort of reclined on your couch as and sipping her coffee and says, "You've been gone a long time. You must have some stories to tell. Up to no good, I bet."
Most of it was all right. Let's see. We made our way to the Red Queen, through the White Queen's way to the market.
She's amazing, as everyone says.
You know what? Didn't get to see her too long because this gent popped out of nowhere and was just standing there brandishing his weaponry, being
Someone
a
just
dunce.
popped out of nowhere.
When I tell you, a door opened in the air and he got thrown through it, and then it closed and disappeared.
I suppose that stranger things have happened, I guess.
Just that trip. Let's see. So yeah, we took the dog I was telling you about. We went to this establishment where their owner was. You know all those Grenadines, they're rigged to explode, right?
They can't take it. You can't take it with you, and they don't want anyone else to either.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to do some thrilling heroics?
Oh, not there, no. Two of them got into a fight. It was a small space. Yeah.
Oh, but you would have been. Surely you would have found a way to get in there, and you didn't let people get hurt, did you? Vantage?
Anyway, then after that,
Vantage, I'm the one that does the dancing here.
it was a small space. They were right next to each other. If I had gone in there, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now.
All right, finish your story then.
Alright, turn the dog. Oh. Dog gave me their eye.
Well, that's gross.
Oh, you didn't see how it gave me the eye.
I feel like even you describing it will turn.
I won't tell you.
Turn my stomach.
Important part is that
You just keep it in your pocket? Isn't it all slimy? Aren't eyeballs slimy?
Imogen, where else do you keep an eye that a dog gave you?
I suppose I've never considered that question, and so I don't have an answer for it. But
Let me skip ahead to the parts that were cool. So, as we were leaving town, a different way, we ran across that gent that got thrown through the door. And he had done robbed a whole bunch of people. And, alright, this is mostly Ochre. Ochre did the heroics here. I just provided cover. Ochre convinced this dastardly gentleman to hand over all the things that he did steal. And then we sent him on his way. He wanted to go hunting.
Managed not to kill that man.
Managed not to kill that man.
Baby steps, I suppose.
I'm doing my best. We came across this crystal cavern, not a tavern, where an encarted Din was getting attacked by their own serfs, who were like foaming at the mouth with crystals. We were able to fight those off and save that encarted Din. And this like wolf-looking thing came out of the trees. And Roa, with their bare hands, wrestled it. And the crystal serfs formed into one giant crystal creature and was lumbering toward us with evil intent. When Mellifera removed the crystal heart, I think they still have that. They shouldn't have that.
When I think that I want to invite myself along on some trip that you're going on, you give me many reasons to never leave this town.
Never. And then we went to the Temple of Sagacity, where unfortunately, probably some of the last people to see it.
It seems like an eventful trip.
Yeah.
I try not to worry about you, but you always seem to come back, so keep that up.
Well, I told you, I've turned over a new leaf, and now I am just a graveyard tender. And I'm back where I should be. No ghosts to haunt me.
I think at this point there's probably a knock or something at the door, and it's Ochre and Mellifera.
Oh, come on in. Coffee's hot.
Or, hey, Vantage. And have we met before?
Imagine you would have.
Okay.
I mean, it's up to Vantage if this is a secret thing.
Vantage doesn't keep things secret, just doesn't say things. It's different. I'm surprised there's someone in this town that you do not know. Ochre. Ochre, this is Imogen. Imogen. This is Ochre. The famous Ochre.
Yeah, our highly skilled and very nicely dressed hound. And she puts her hand out.
I take it and I say, well, I've got my best pair of shoes in the shop right now, but this'll do. You're not looking so bad yourself.
Oh, well, this is just... You should come by the tavern later and see, me in full regalia.
Truly a stunning sight, Ochre.
I'll do my best to make time. Have you met Mellifera already?
I don't believe I have, but pleasure. Thanks for keeping us safe. Thanks for giving my Vantage a home to come back to.
We are simply here to have a safe haven for everyone that wants it from the heart.
It looks like you're got a meeting of the minds happening, so I'm just gonna borrow this mug, and I'll be back. I'll see you tonight, Vantage.
Yeah, see you later. Get there safe, okay?
Of course. And as Imogen opens the door, she starts when she sees that Roa and a person with a face that is a book are walking up to the door. Takes all kinds, I suppose, and she sort of ducks off to the side.
I didn't quite get to that part.
And she kind of nods at Roa, and she nods at Roa and Montserrat, and heads back to Baffling Din. All right, you're all in the same place. We did it.
For a second there, I thought you said who did it, and I was like, I don't know. We haven't found like the candlestick in the dining room yet. Like,
That would be who done it.
Okay.
So Oakley's gonna take a seat.
I guess we do need to just resolve if anyone knows that the bookbinder was here. Roa.
Yes, Ryan. Do we know about your rendezvous?
Your guest, your overnight guest.
Or have you been strangely missing for an entire day?
I think I've been strangely missing for an entire day.
Okay. Getting paper cuts in inappropriate places.
Not where anyone would see.
Your poor tongue.
No, the sticky saliva. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
So, you might remember my friend Montserrat. We met, in our travels. Well, we've been talking a bit about the troubles that Baffling Din has been having, and thought it might be wise to visit the library.
All right, when you say troubles, you mean besides that cabal of bandits and noisemakers and druggies that have taken up residence right next door?
Well, I mean, that's more of a quandary, isn't it?
Well, I was going to ask you how that was going, Vantage, but thank you for answering that question already.
Oh. Yeah, they're bad neighbors.
Well, I'm sure you're used to people who are a little bit more stiff, so...
I mean, the dead are better company. I have more interesting things to say.
Can't say I disagree.
Coffee?
It's probably a good idea.
Montserrat holds up their hand and says, "The stains are difficult to get out. So none for me."
Understandable.
We wouldn't be able to stop buzzing.
A joke from Mellifera.
That seems odd. I love it.
We are simply indicating that we have discovered.
Caffeine and bees don't go well together.
Bees on
Also-
caffeine!
Also, the warm liquids are not preferable when your innards are wax.
You know what? Understandable. So I think I come back with 2 mugs. so Ochre, Mellifera, did you just come here to ask about my neighbors?
Hard. Have you been hearing about the other problems that Baffling Din has been having?
People don't really come by to gossip unless you count Imogen.
Well, large limbs have been growing in certain apartments. I've been trying to keep this whole matter under wraps, but I don't know how much longer I can do that as they keep sprouting and the apiarists keep having to cut them off.
Like with digits?
Sometimes. Uh, sometimes not enough digits. Things kind of came to a head with the pups recently. And well, to be frank, I don't know if leaving Baffling Din at this moment in time would be a good idea.
Right. So we got the druids on loose, doing their chanting and staying up all night, fit to raise the dead.
Do they?
No,
Oh,
very
good.
sound sleepers.
Okay.
We've got limbs accosting the pups. Just a variety of unnatural statements right there. What a time to come visit Montserrat.
Well, I certainly wish to help in any way that I can. I mentioned to Roa, upon speaking of these things, that the library at which I live, I suppose, as the best way to put it, has information on every topic. I was going to take Roa to show them the real possibilities of books, but I also thought that perhaps the three of you might be interested in perhaps learning more about your problems from a literary perspective. There are books that the Towering Library Categorical has books that haven't even been written yet, so perhaps someone has already solved the problem for you, or someone will, that is.
Well, I do know that Roa had spoken of wanting to visit the library.
Just an idea. I mean,
Well, I won't speak for Roa, but I do think that it would be quite good for him. His journey into literary discovery has only really just begun, so I'd rather that they get, some quality reading materials from the source.
yeah, perhaps it's time for me to get better acquainted with literature.
I don't want to be rude. You stop me if this is an uncomfortable question. But aren't you not from that order that doesn't read?
In certain respects, I guess I have a reputation for not being so faithful. Just certain respects, though. Not.
No. It's
Not-
totally all right. I have a grudge against that order anyway. So,
Just saying,
Totally
there
fine.
is knowledge to be had, and locking myself off from all kinds of knowledge seems to be doing me a disservice, so perhaps it's time to follow a different path.
All right. All right. I support you. In that case,
As long as Ochre doesn't drag me away again.
In the silence, every time there's a silence, you hear Montserrat's book flipping pages. If there could be an anxiousness to a book pages turning there, then you might sense that. And they say, I had no interest in complicating your lives. If this is not the right time, and they look at Roa, this is not a good time to. I totally understand.
No, I don't see any problem with this plan. It's just unexpected, which I'm accustomed to knowing what's about to happen, and this is throwing me off a little bit, but there is something to be said for the thrill of the unknown.
If what you want to know is what happens next, Roa, then the library categorical, your biography is there somewhere already. All of our stories are already told and being written and rewritten in the library categorical, so the answers are there. Answers to any question.
And I have many.
But I also understand that you, and Montserrat turns to Ochre and Mellifera and Vantage, I understand that you have a town to take care of. So.
Oh. I appreciate that sentiment.
I've only been in Baffling Din for a day, but I'm thankful for what it's given to me already. And so if I can return that favor by aiding you in these strange happenings, then I would be thrilled.
I give like one more like look between Montserrat and Roa.
Bro just gives you like these eyes like
the say yes eyes.
do what the bookman says.
I owe
out of game metagame.
Yeah.
I'm okay with split up if you want. I have that in mind because I knew this might be a thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots to do in the city. If two of you want to go down books wise, or if Roa wants to go on their own, I can make that happen. It's not like not like a big deal. So I don't want to feel like I'm forcing you all to go because I know that this situation is weird. So just
Great. I love it.
Well, yes, but like.
All right. So
I think Ochre would say I owe Roa quite a bit, and I think I wouldn't mind escorting the two of you in the least. Travel is still dangerous, and I could use with a few answers myself.
Well then, the library categorical would be happy to have you, Ochre the Hound.
Thank you very much.
We can make it a whistle stop tour as well. It doesn't need to be a long visit. It's hard to explain, but I feel as though the library will know what you're looking for as soon as you step through the door.
Easy to find answers would be a welcome change of pace.
We try to uncomplicate things.
I've gathered that there can be a certain serendipity in books, so.
This sounds personal.
Well, in that case, I have it unpacked. We can go now.
We are torn in this instance because, as you have mentioned, Ochre, having some clear answers for what would be most welcome. However, we seem to have the Baffling Din in a bit of a rough situation where we have wild folk walking into alleyways with beasts and returning without them, we were told, and
We don't
arms
even know
going...
if they were alive, honestly.
Well, we do have the druids, and
Right.
Vantage seemed, content to simply have one druid resident. Now we have very many, and we don't know what they're all getting up to, as well as the extra arms. The buildings seem to be growing. If it was just a small number of arms, I might not be so concerned, but the building is so well armed at this point.
It's becoming an armory.
Wait, so are they arms or are they legs or are they just limbs?
Well, it's
of
limbs.
Ambiguous. All right.
The biggest one so far has been an arm.
Mostly hands. Yeah, hands and arms.
Very handsy.
It's gotten very handsy, as the pups have said.
Yeah, it's definitely a hands-on situation.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that the druids have been seen leaving objects. places?
Mellifera's, not Mellifera, sorry, Montserrat says, and you're looking for someone to point the finger at? And the page flips. I thought we were doing a thing. I love wordplay. Sorry.
No, you're perfect. You're doing great.
I'm giggling, but Mellifera's looking at them blankly.
Mellifera doesn't
same.
know that they make puns.
Mellifera doesn't know when they make jokes. And, well, I think Mellifera considers, is the door closed? We're in this room and it's five of us right now,
It's a little
right?
cramped, but yes, you're in Vantage's cottage.
All right.
Private as it can get.
Sorry, we have a start of a tapping at the door. We'll see what it works up to. Because this would be an interesting time. Although, also, in a magical library is also an interesting time for a knock to happen.
Every book is a door to a magical world.
And fire exists.
And fire exists. Yeah.
Hopefully
I
they
didn't
don't have
see
any
that one.
crystal balls in any windows.
I'm attacked.
That was such a direct drag. Wow.
Sorry.
There's just a little char mark that was smoking. It's fine.
Oh my goodness. This
It's
episode.
not still smoking. It's fine.
Okay, if it's just the five of us in this room alone, the door's closed and everything, we have not communicated this yet to you. However, we are suspicious of one of the aperists in particular. There is a new aperist, 0815. They have had some very odd behavior. They've been speaking on encouraging changes which is the exact opposite of what we desire for the Baffling Din. Their bees give off an unhealthy glow, and they've raised their lips and bared their teeth in some odd manner that is not befitting of an apiarist.
Raise their lips and bare their teeth.
Like this.
That is unnatural.
Was it a threat or like?
We certainly considered it a threat. There was an odd breathiness to it as well.
Tell
Ochre,
them about the bees?
No, the apiarist.
No, the bees from the apiars.
Yes, the bees had an unhealthy glow. And they seem to be consorting with the druids.
Alright, so you're telling me, if I understand you correctly, there was an apiarist who may have smiled and also laughed, and their bees have an unhealthy glow.
Correct. And they encourage changing of Baffling Din. And the apiarists are speaking of suspicion of the pups in this instance, which makes no sense as one of the pups was endangered. So it's extremely illogical that the pups would be the cause of this condition. And it should be to the benefit of all apiarists to seek out the true cause. We believe that they are... What is the term? Rumoring, spreading lies. Telling each other
Do you mean
stories.
gossiping?
That.
Can apiarists gossip?
Why would you perpetrate false information?
Montserrat's book face has been like filling page after page, like at a rapid speed, trying to get caught up with everything that has been said.
Fair.
Are any of my new journals filling up with information?
Are you gonna check?
I don't think that Roa would check right now, but it is a
Right.
curiosity that will come back, I'm sure.
Sure, yeah. You have to look. I mean, maybe you have an intuition that something might be, but
Alright. Ochre, I understand now better why you were loath to leave, besides the disarming situation. I'll be honest, and no disrespect, Montserrat. I don't have much of a place in the library. Mellifera, would you like me to stay here with you to help you investigate this?
If you are willing, I think that would be ideal. Roa and Ochre can go to try and find the answers they are looking for. In whatever thrilling literary works they desire. But I do feel as if there is something going on here that should not be left alone.
It does make me feel better knowing that the both of you are going to stay here and keep an eye on things. Would you like me to ask the pups to report to you? Do they unsettle you, Vantage?
They just don't normally come out this far.
No good sewers for them to
It's pretty open.
On this note, as you're planning your next moves, and just before we go to a break, there is a squabble outside the window of Vantage's cottage, and as you look out the window, the druids seem to be getting into some kind of argument with a pup that is at the foot of their tree, and before you can get outside, the pup is up in the tree and snatches something from one of the druids' hands. A couple of the druids fall out of the tree and they seem to be kind of dazed. And suddenly the pup is gone, and there is this kind of lead-handed knock, pound at the door. And they say, "I have to speak to the boss. I got one of them."
Oh.
And that's where we're gonna leave it for now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. Okay.
That was perfect. They don't come out here. One is literally
I know,
outside.
One is outside.
I definitely had an expression of like,
Yeah. That them being there was planned, but the timing of it was good. So. But we're gonna take a quick 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for the raiders that we had. Thanks for the $10 towards the knock at the door. And we'll be back soon. Very soon.
See you in a few.
Thumbs up to the horrible things.
Yeah.
And with that, we're back.
Oh, hello.
I love coming back on notes like that.
Well, I guess now we have to make horrible things happen. We announced it.
She caught us.
All right. How will I do this? Right. We actually had a knock at the door, and a scheduled one, where we left off, and yeah, obviously the pup that was taking something or doing something with the druids is banging on the door and asking for boss, which is obviously Ochre. And if you swing the door open, Ochre, there is Jeroman, the kind of on-point pup that you have befriended the most. And they reach out and grab onto your hand and say, "I got something to show you, boss, but it's just for you and me."
I'm just trying to think about where we could go that would be relatively private.
Well, if you and Mellifera are heading back to, no, sorry, you're heading down.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just around the side of the house, I guess.
Yeah. Adjacent to the
There's some
graveyard.
rain barrels. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh,
like
yeah.
a kid would, they've got like their hands cupped like this, and they crouch down, and then they're kind of like gesturing for you to crouch down.
Yeah, I crouched down.
And they open up their hand, and there are in their hand is this red furry moth that has 7 eyes, and their wings are made out of the wings of the moth are made out of really kind of thin bone, like where the what do you call it? Not the veins, but the structure of the wing is bone, like little ribs of bone, and thin like flesh kind of material for the wings. He says, "This is one of the things that them stink farmers were. I got it."
Wow, you did a really good job getting that. It must have been hard to catch.
Nah, those old stink farmers are slow. Not like a pup.
Yeah.
So I crushed this, right? You get rid of this. This thing looks like bad news, boss.
It does look like bad news. I think we should show it to Mellifera first. They know more about bugs and flying things than we do.
Them beekeepers, they're gonna blame this thing on us.
Mellifera has been standing up for you.
No, I only trust you, boss.
Okay.
Don't show this to the beekeeper, boss.
All right. Does it feel like, has it been trying to fly away? Is it tickling the inside of your hands with its wings?
It's not moving too much there, boss. I think it's scared of me.
It should be.
Should be.
Is there any way that I would be able to tell anything about it aside from just like the?
You've never seen anything like it before.
Okay.
You know, actually, you are far enough down into the heart that you would know that the heart has its own idea of what flora and fauna is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And you often it is a sort of messed up version of a real like surface thing. But you would know them. They would be referred to as heart's blood beasts.
Okay.
And you're pretty sure that that's what this is. And you know, you would probably be coming to the realization that the beetles were that as well, the seeker beetles.
German, here. I'll hold up my hands. Can you pass it to me? I'd like to take a closer look at it.
So when the pup puts his hands on yours, you would expect to feel, you know, when you hold hands or make physical contact with another person, you kind of sense their existence. You know what I mean? Like their hands are warm.
That.
Yeah. I'm familiar with other people, but like, you know, you can kind of just know that they're alive. You know, you sense it when you have hand-on-hand contact. When the pup touches your hand, it's like holding the hand of a mannequin. It feels like, and it just places the bug into your hand. I'll keep an eye out for more of them, boss.
Good. You tell me if you see any bodies of these anywhere too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I'll crush anything I come across.
Smart. They should be afraid of you.
Pups have magnifying glasses. We'll make them pop. Or we take off all of their legs.
Or you could just crush them. Could be easier if you do it fast. You can do more that way too.
Faster fun. I'll think about it, boss.
Okay. But you make sure to keep track.
I was sneaking around and I heard that you leave it again, boss.
Just for a little bit. Gonna try and see what other answers I can come up with.
He opens up the raggedy coat and he points at the little tin badge that he has. He says, Deputy Pup.
It's a lot of responsibility I'm leaving in your hands, okay?
Squashing bugs is what I do, boss.
If you see anything really strange and I'm still not back yet, you talk to Vantage, okay?
Okay. Spooky Ghost is the new boss. Got it.
Make sure you call them that to their face.
Whatever you say, boss.
Good. Okay.
And then you see the pup do something that they have never done before, which is kind of like move along the ground and knock on the floor, and then with one kind of swipe with the dust, they find a sewer grate that you are convinced wasn't there before.
Okay.
And just open it up and dive and then climb into it.
Don't let yourself be seen doing that.
It's true, and at that point, it's
But
gone.
they're already
They're gone, yeah.
Okay. When they leave, I'm gonna like peek in my hands at the little moth thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll try to like kind of like touch its head and say, what are you trying to do here?
You feel like a little bit of a pinprick as just a little proboscis thing just gently pushes into the palm of your hand and then retracts. And all the fur on it, which isn't really fur, it's more like, what are the things that you have on the inside of your stomach that kind of
Oh, the
bristle?
cilia?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Or
They're just very fine and very thin, and they have like that, but they move sort of it moves of its own accord, and it
Okay.
kind of bristles, and the color gets a little brighter.
do you need me to set you free?
It starts to climb up your sleeve. That's where it's heading.
Okay. I will. I will say, if you want to hide, I can give you transport back out into the heart.
It's a bug, and it doesn't say anything, but
Yeah.
it seems to settle in on the inside of your coat pocket.
Okay. I'll stand up, look around, and then head back into Vantage's house, where I assume everyone else is.
Yeah, I imagine people have come out at this point to find you, and Montserrat and Roa seem pretty keen on getting going.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm ready to head out when you are.
The Bookbinder's drop is going to be startling the first time that you experience it, but I assure you, it's perfectly safe. And really the best way to get to the library.
Ochre's like constantly looking at Roa like, are we assured?
I trust Montserrat. I mean, I also assume that you do mean safe by relative terms.
Well, nothing's truly safe, but that is our lot in life, adventuring around the heart. I will say that we will be getting closer, rather than further away from the heart itself. The nature of the heart allows things like the library to exist, so you have to be thankful sometimes for its strange energies.
Well, hopefully it provides what we hope it will.
Oh, I assure you, Roa, it'll be like going home.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. So the Montserrat starts to direct you sort of further into the outskirts, where things are still kind of, the features of the place are still very much like the insides of buildings and things and furniture, but it sort of gets more and more into just stone, caverny type things as you go. And we'll jump over to Vantage and Mellifera. What's the course? What's your plan of attack here? Where do you want to go?
Well, Vantage. I mean, I feel like this kerfuffle just happened just outside your house, right? And then we weren't allowed to see what the pup had.
Yep,
So maybe
and Ochre didn't tell us.
Yeah, so maybe would we go like keep our heads outside to go look at the other end of the argument or something? You know what I mean?
We could go over and investigate.
As you approach the tree, the hat kind of like shushes everybody that's up there. They're like just finished dragging the druids that fell out up into the tree. And just as Vantage and Mellifera, as you walk up, he's like, shush, shush, shush. Not suspicious at all, of course.
Neighbors.
What can I do for you, Vantage? I really appreciate you letting my kin stay here.
Well,
I hope we haven't been too much trouble.
All right. So we heard that you were having a scuffle over here with a pup. Is everything all right?
Oh, a pup absconded with some trinket. It's not really a big deal.
All right. I saw 2 of your number fall out. Is everyone all right?
Well, we were just having kind of a lazy, sleepy day, so they kind of were startled when the old little pup came around. It's fine. We love the pups.
You love the pups.
Well, they seem to cause trouble, which just makes things interesting around here, no?
I wouldn't say the pups cause trouble. Don't you know they work for the hound?
Oh, I suppose. I just think children doing as children do, you know. They must stir up a little bit of... anyway, it's fine. We settled our differences. The hound can keep, or the pup could keep whatever they took. He gestures over to one of the other druids, who bears a similar bearded countenance to him, and says, Jameson creates little necklaces and things out of the hair from his beard, and I guess it just attracted the attention of the young lad. So,
all right. Well, please do not fight with the children.
well,
They
I
are,
will, as long
after
as
all,
they don't
children.
start things themselves.
No, we should be setting examples for young people.
Well, they should respect their elders.
All right, now, again, I'm gonna go into town for a bit. Please do not extend your abode over the gate. I don't ask very many things of you.
Well, Vantage, you know that nature does as nature pleases. So if the tree chooses to grow in this direction, or if it requires a change of some kind, then it will do so. That's an unstoppable force.
I think the phrase is irresistible force, no?
It'll do what it wants to do, Vantage. I'm not controlling the comings and goings of this tree. I think it's foolhardy to think that anyone can.
We'll continue this talk later. I have things to attend to.
Oh, I look forward to it, Vantage. Oh, and I promise my kin, their time here is nearly done.
Nearly done. Well, they were only supposed to stay overnight, and it's been several nights. So I'd say
I always found Baffling
overdone.
Din to be very welcoming. You saying that's changed?
There are boundaries.
You're very concerned with them. I understand. They'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Fair.
Was there a specific intended business you have, that it is also apparent to you that it is almost complete?
Well, we're having important conversations. And when the conversation's done, they'll go.
With whom?
With each other.
If the conversations are simply between yourselves, could you not have them elsewhere?
I'm not interested in going elsewhere.
What is it
Baffling Din is my
within
home.
Baffling Din that you require? Because when you arrived, you told us you simply needed shelter for a night, as Vantage has pointed out. And you have been here, far surpassing that.
Well, I'm sorry if my kin found that the hospitality, up until now anyway, of Baffling Din was comforting to them, and they wanted to stay a little longer.
That
Are we
might not be a
truly
problem,
causing you that
however,
much-
you did just specify your business was almost done. What is said business?
I think you're seeing things where they're not, beekeeper. We follow the path that's put before us, and that path will change directions soon. And then you won't have to worry about us anymore.
That's quite alright. I'm just curious. What is it you want to do? I'm using my pheromones on him now.
What do the pheromones do?
He has to do whatever he desires right now.
Oh.
What is it you want in Baffling Din?
Okay. He leans forward, sort of hanging out of the tree, such as like that he can just get his face right up to your face. And he says, "What I want, beekeeper, is for things to be allowed to progress the way that they want to. I sense that things around here are tired of being hemmed in.
There is the entirety of the heart within which to do that. The point of the Baffling Din is to keep things safe and the same. If you would like to see things change, you are welcome to leave and do so outside.
No, I think I'll stay a little longer. Your hound friend's gone now. You can try and get the other ones to ask me to leave, but they don't listen to anyone but Ochre. I suggest you pay us no mind, beekeeper.
I turn and walk away. And when far enough away with Vantage, I'm like, I feel like it's pretty clear that there are things happening here that they do not want to declare openly.
I mean, Ochre is gone. We could do some wanton destruction of property.
Scandalous.
I'm only a mostly reformed criminal.
And my qualities and traits are such that I would do anything to keep Baffling Din the way it is. I feel like we are the perfect two to remain here.
Don't worry, it's all gonna be fine, Ochre.
Don't worry, Ochre, you left us in charge. We're gonna do good.
All right.
Be interesting.
I think we'll hop back over to the other two as Vantage and Mellifera, you head back to Baffling Din proper. Okay, Ochre, Roa, guided by Montserrat, you find that the terrain starts to slope down. like it's all leading to a point. Sort of like a shallow drain or that kind of thing. And then you get to this big opening in the ground, a literal straight kind of drop that has you can see much like the route to the Red Market. You can see that there are furnishings and things built into the tunnel wall, except that it's a straight drop down. No ladder seems to enter into this, and the darkness kind of consumes the view very quickly. And Montserrat says, "It's quite simple. We just jump."
Oh, was that all?
I can go first if you'd like.
There's nothing like a special place that we jump from and then jump to?
No, you just jump in to Bookbinder's drop and start to descend.
And we don't have to aim for anything? We won't just fall endlessly?
A book once turned up in the library that said that the key to flying was just to aim at the ground and miss. So if you want to keep that in mind, then I suggest doing that, but I assure you it's perfectly safe.
Oh, okay.
We could all jump at the same time, and Montserrat reaches to grab Roa's hand.
Roa takes it without realizing that he's taken it.
And then Montserrat reaches out for Ochre's hand as well.
He handed over to give him my hand.
Okay. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And you all jump in. There is a rush of air, and you feel like you are falling at a very fast speed. But then there is just something slows your fall, and there is just a thump, and then you start to drift down. Montserrat's head seems to flare out a little bit, as though the pages of it are what are keeping you afloat, and Roa and Ochre, you feel as though your clothing is sort of suspended somewhat as you slowly descend, and you find that you are so this tunnel, which is part stone, is also decorated like a study, but it's been stretched out into a tube form. So there are bookshelves built into walls, and those ladders that go along shelves kind of go along some sides, and then some places there are desks with chairs built into the walls. And you are slowly kind of descending past all of them. Ochre, Montserrat has let go of your hand, but they keep their grip on Roa's.
These books, are they part of the library's collection as well?
It's tough to keep the books bound in. Some of them like to go on adventures of their own.
Brings a new understanding to the idea of a bookbinder, huh?
Well, we don't always get to choose what books show up. We're not curators.
You have to let them out at night, or do they leave of their own accord?
They come and go as they please.
I'm going to quickly check in my coat pocket, see if the little heart's blood moth is still there.
It is, and it seems to have nestled in. Immediately, though, you notice that it has started kind of making some sort of webbing, like a nest inside the pocket.
Okay. I won't do anything else about it, especially since Roa and Montserrat are right there.
I think in other situations, Roa might have noticed, but Roa definitely did
He's
not
very
this time.
distracted.
Okay. So, as you drift further down, the drop seems to be getting more and more library-esque, until up ahead you can see that there's some kind of blockage, like something, the artery that is the drop has been clogged by a bunch of desks and chairs that have sort of warped together and melded into a blockade, which stops your fall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is strange.
This is not usually here.
Every once in a while, something will fall off of a shelf, or someone will drop a teacup. But this is quite the blockade.
And what do you usually do about a blockade?
This isn't a situation that I've been in, unfortunately. He starts trying to pull. They start trying to pull on the furniture to try and unblock it.
Does it look like it's budging at all from Montserrat's pushing?
No, but I will get you to roll some dice for me. Sometimes you do that in this game.
I've heard rumors.
Yeah, so I would like a discern. If you'd like to learn more, a discern occult or a discern cursed, please.
Do you have those?
I don't have either of those.
I have discern and occult,
Okay.
but another pair of eyes wouldn't hurt. But you don't have either?
I don't have any of those, so I can't even help.
All right. We'll have both of those. So it's 3d10.
Yeah, and I guess, Ochre, you could pull Roa out of their reverie a bit to get get them focused.
Look at the obstacle.
I am looking at the Oh. Right. 9.
You're able to sort of float around. It's sort of a zero gravity, and innately you can just kind of move around a little bit, and so you drift closer down, and it seems like there is some kind of structure, some kind of material that is actually binding these together, and it has this sort of like sinewy webbing look to it, like it's like something is binding all of and has wrapped around, and it's very fine and very difficult to see, but something organic is holding all of these things together. Something is trying to prevent, something else has caused this blockage to prevent people from getting past.
Okay, it seems like there's some kind of webbing, sinew, something holding these things together.
You getting close to take a look there, Ochre?
Yeah, I'll step up to it.
It's very similar to what the creature is weaving in your pocket.
I will tell Roa and Montserrat, I'll go and take a closer look over there, and I'm going to try to step, out of their line of sight.
It's a little bit difficult to do, but because you're in like a cylindrical tunnel that goes down, right? So
Right.
You can drift up a little bit if you want.
Okay, yeah.
Sure.
I'll drift up a little, just so I'm not immediately visible, and then
I guess you're back to us as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Straight up, not suspicious at all. I just need to go whisper into my coat over here.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go look at this spot here.
It's a hound thing. You wouldn't get it.
Very interesting. You should go hold hands some more. And I'll just kind of like fill it up and then like open my coat pocket and say, "Do you know anything about this?"
The beetle or the moth, pardon me. It doesn't respond. I've
I
tried
mean,
to.
it's a bug.
Yeah. No, I know. Give me a compel, cursed, or occult roll.
Right. Well, I have compel, though I don't have
Or
either.
actually, do you have wild?
I don't have wild.
Okay.
No.
So just a compel, I guess, whatever. Just compel, so 2 dice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a 10. A 1 and a 10. Jeez.
Nice.
The before you can stop it, the moth dives into your mouth, out of your pocket and into your mouth.
While I'm asking?
Yeah, just as you state the last thing, it dives into your mouth. This is what a successful roll got you. It dives into your mouth, and you hear a voice, and it says, "Sometimes." That wasn't the exact voice I wanted to go for. 1 second. "Sometimes knowledge is a burden, Ochre."
Do I feel like I can talk back, or is my mouth full of moths?
You can attempt to think something back, maybe.
Oh, okay. I would think back. I carry a lot of burdens for others. What's one more?
We wish to give you a gift, Ochre, and yet you continue to avoid it. But you clearly have a soft spot for creatures of the heart.
I think everything should be treated with dignity and respect.
Then perhaps you could be trusted with what you see in the library. But you have to know, interference or not, what will happen to Baffling Din is inevitable. Your precursor knew it, and deep in your heart I know that you know it as well.
But I heard that, I thought that the central precept of the heart was change.
Everything has to change, Ochre. You can't stop it. You've done well so far, but that time is over.
We will see.
Before you can answer again, there's the same feeling, but on your tongue of like the needle proboscis of the moth, like stabbing in and drinking a little bit more of your, essential juices, and then dives back out of your mouth, pushes past your teeth and your lips, and goes back into your pocket. Your own kind of the metallic taste and warm feeling of your own blood is in your mouth. So I would imagine you would hear a little bit of retching, Roa. The nature of Montserrat's being is that they're not quite good at being aware of all things that are around them, but you would definitely hear some retching or something from Ochre up in the corner.
Ochre?
Sorry, I something got in my mouth.
Are you all right?
I think so. I think I bit my
Reassuring.
tongue.
I see. Have you figured anything out about this?
Not sure. If I touch the webbing, does anything happen?
As soon as you float back down and touch it, it all starts to just unravel, and the furnishings, that the desks and chairs that are blockading it, just all kind of tumble down, and an image of very reminiscent of your experiences in Baffling Din kind of just get absorbed into the wall or half stuck.
You sure everything is okay?
Well, the way is clear now.
It is.
Guess I didn't need to go up and look at that one part after all.
Montserrat has sort of just been drifting, and now that the blockade is gone, is starting to drift down again, and says, "Shall we carry on? Is everyone all right?"
Ochre?
Yes, we're doing quite fine. Come on, the sooner we can get to the library categorical, the sooner I can start heading back.
Yes. Let's continue.
Okay, well, just allow yourself to drift down. Grab a book. We only have a little bit more to go. Okay, back at Baffling Din, I think, and all the druids that are in the place are in the tree currently right now. We'll say that there's 7 of them, Hat and 6 more. What is your next course of action in figuring out what's going on around here? Periodically, as you move through the city, the pups, crack open little windows and vents and things everywhere, and kind of give you like thumbs up, just to let you know that a lot of them are saluting you, Vantage, and waving their little tin badges at you. And it seems as though you've gotten a promotion that you didn't want.
New spooky death ghost boss.
I think after like the 3rd time I get a little badge waved, right? Because I'm gonna thumbs up and wave back. I'm gonna say to Mellifera, when Ochre gets back, I'm gonna have to ask for one of those little badges too, for the next time. Feeling a little left out.
Rightly so. I think you have proven yourself more than people, and the pups seem to like you, and that's not common.
I don't know what to say to that. Alright, so, I guess we should look at, investigate a place where a hand, arm, limb, 15 elbows with some bones in between, has sprouted to see if there's anything in that area.
That sounds good. Also, if you have any questions for the pups, I feel like they observe more than us sometimes.
You're right. Alright, next one we see, I'm gonna stop and ask a question.
I'm very intrigued as to what the result of this will be.
So I guess you'll make your way to the most recent one, the really big arm that attacked the pups, I imagine that would probably be where you'd go.
Yeah.
And Mellifera, did you see to patching this one up yourself?
How long ago did this happen?
It's the most recent, maybe like the day before.
I probably would have tried to then.
Okay. And when you get there, luckily a couple of pups seem to have posted themselves outside this particular area, with the intent of never letting other pups get hurt by whatever's in there. And they both salute at Vantage.
At ease, friends. I have a...
You're Ghost Boss now.
It's a pretty cool name. I'll take it.
Ochre's still the real boss, though.
Ochre is the real boss. I'm only temporary.
You're deputy like us.
Exactly.
Deputy boss.
Deputy boss. So I have a quick question for you, friends. Did you happen to see anything weird in this area before the hand started to grow?
The one that you're speaking to says, "Tell him," and to the other one who's sort of shrunken up a little bit as the two of you approached, says, "Ghost Boss, the floor moved.
The floor moved.
It wiggled like a worm. It moved really fast. And before we know it, well, it had me in its grip.
Oh no, it was you.
I'm not afraid, Ghost Boss.
Well, then you're very brave.
That's why I'm staying here. Make sure it doesn't happen again. If that wiggle floor happens, I'm gonna be the one to crush it, stomp it out like a little bug."
Like a little bug. Yep. Thank you for your service. I'm gonna... Let's all keep an eye out for more of the wiggle floor. 'Cause that don't seem good now, does it?
I can show you where it started,
Please.
but we'll have to go in there again.
Only if you're comfortable.
I'm not scared. Pups aren't scared. Pushes the door open and goes in. And then gets maybe like 2 steps in and just tries to reach and point as far in as they can to where it is, as opposed to moving in completely.
Alright. I'm gonna keep walking. You tell me when to stop.
And their arm distends just like subtly,
Yeah.
and you can sort of hear it stretch just like a little bit, and it points at a basically a hole in the floor where clearly something is chewed through.
Alright, Mellifera, you need to look at this.
I would like to go over and look at it. How big is this? How big is this hole?
Not too big. Like like a knot hole, maybe something like that. A loony, a toonie.
For all the Canadians.
Silver dollar is what we decided, right? Silver dollar.
Oh, okay.
I love.
That is good measurement conversion.
We have
Okay.
silver dollars up here too, but yeah. So, if you'd like to get a close look, discern occult is what I'd be looking for.
I have both of those.
Oh, good.
You
I
got-
have neither of these. I cannot
Okay,
help
good.
you.
Okay. That's fine. We got this.
If you needed to kill the hole, Vantage would be your.
If you need to kill the hole, I'm killing the hole.
Okay. Well, hang on, just double check something real quick, cause I always do the thing. Okay, I rolled a 3, a 6, and a 7. but I could use the 6 as a 10 because it is my perfect number.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna, because it's once per situation, so I'm gonna say this is the this is the moment.
Yeah.
Let's do the thing.
Okay. Do you get close and look, or do you send the bees to go and look? What's your main method here? I mean, your bees are you, so
Yeah.
yeah. So
We are bees.
yes.
I think Mellifera like moves over to it and gets fairly close, but then lets a bee actually like go in and investigate.
Okay. It discovers a network of tunnels chewed through the materials of Baffling Din, similar to what a termite or something might do. And the network from this point seems pretty elaborate.
Mellifera's like body just like heaves as all the wax kind of compresses. Sounds somewhat accordion-like.
And there is a sharp pain or equivalent for you as something bigger and red dives past the bee that's exploring, and then there's a sickly crunch as it's eaten or destroyed, and you lose access to what it is. But something has moved through the tunnel and killed it.
But you said something bigger than the bee?
Bigger than the bee, yeah.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
reference, your moth is bigger than the bees.
Just for reference, just if you were wondering.
What a weird coincidence there.
It can't be the same kind of moth, though. That would be.
Too bad we don't know about moths.
Yeah. Too bad no one anywhere has ever told us about these red moths that exist. Yeah. Mellifera like shudders and actively like stands back up quickly and kind of like takes a step back and moves to Vantage, and without looking at them, there is a whole infestation. The bee we sent in was destroyed.
I'm so sorry.
There is a network. There are tunnels. It is not a small infestation.
Alright, well then we gotta get rid of that. Friends, pups, have you seen more of these little holes?
We ain't seen the wiggle floor anywhere else.
Just here. Well, then this was
Just
the
before
biggest.
just before Baffling Din got its hands on us.
Yeah, it's rude to manhandle you. So.
It's getting real
Well-
handsy around here, Ghost Boss.
I want to see what I could do to make that stop.
We got to get a grip on the situation.
We have to firmly grasp it. Yeah.
But I think you can handle it. If Ochre puts you up to the task.
Yeah, and Ochre will be back soon.
We know. Ochre always comes back.
Yeah. All right. Mellifera, this is an odd question to ask you, of all people. Do you know how to handle an infestation?
Normally, I would say this is something we could all work together to resolve. All of the Hiveborn here, as well as with the assistance of yourself and Ochre and Roa. However, we're concerned that not all of the Hiveborn here are fully themselves anymore. We've had
Beyond
suspicions.
beyond just the one problem.
Oh, 0815 is certainly the issue. But we wouldn't be able to tell who else has been infected. We don't know how far the infestation may have gotten at this point.
If you'd like, you can do another discern occult to sort of try and navigate the tunnel, like the.
Well, okay, because I have a thing, but you did the thing, so then the thing. I have two things that
This is
kind
all
of
very
work
clear
here.
to me. Thank
I
you.
know. I'm communicating very efficiently. I am aware. I have two things that kind of work. I have the perfect machine. I see all like my brain does the thing, and I see and understand
Sure.
domain-based things, and this is our domain, right? So, but then I also have Hiveborn, which lets me take the time to fit myself into any tiny space. Because I can basically be deconstructed and reconstructed. You see.
Sure. It takes 6 hours to do.
Yeah, that one takes
Or you
a
can
while.
rush it and take an hour and take D8 stress to blood.
Yeah. Seems
Okay.
worthwhile for taking blood stress. This is a situation I could see Russian.
Sure, but one of your bees was already eaten.
Yeah, so maybe we don't want to go in there necessarily all the way. Do we want to start? Okay. Do we think they already know we are onto them as we are here and we have done a little bit of investigating? Should we rip up the floor at this point and simply go looking? Or do we want to pretend as if...
Alright, when you say onto them, you mean the infestation.
I believe we have seen... When I say we, I mean yourself and Roa and Ochre. We've all seen the damage that this sort of infestation can do back at the Temple of Sagacity.
Rip.
Believe it could be much larger than simple tunneling.
No, especially not if it causes... Alright, okay. Alright. We could try ripping up the floor. Alright, Pups, you've been a great help. I'd appreciate it if you walked back outside because we're gonna rip up the floor. And if anything weird happens outside, I would need you to let me know.
They nod.
Thank you.
They seem more than happy to close the door as well.
Perfect. You're doing a
They're
great
like,
job.
yeah. you stay.
You do that all by yourself.
You go ahead.
Okay, so you just start to pry up the floorboards and pull things up. And you see the vein-like network of tunnels underneath. And once you pull up enough, you can see that there are these fat red moths that are crawling their way through. There's not, you can't see a ton of them, but periodically one will scuttle across the tunnel and into a part of the floor that hasn't been torn out. And you pull up enough to see that the veins of this tunnel are in one direction led to where that arm grew out of the side, helping to form the infrastructure. But most of the activity seems to be heading more into the center of Baffling Din. The tunnel gets more and more complex as it goes down.
I would like to do a squish on any of the ones that we see.
Sure. It's easy enough to grab one. As soon as you gesture towards them, any other ones kind of scuttle away, and go deeper in. I mean, you can only pull up so much floor at this point. But yeah, you grab one into your hand.
I wasn't gonna grab one with my hand. I was just gonna smush it with something.
Well, they're kind of in a tunnel, so it's kind of like, like an ant is in the.
We have floorboards. Just.
Okay, I'll need a hunt cursed roll from you.
Okay.
I know you got one of those at least.
I have hunt. Don't have cursed. That's fine. And I'm rolling d10s. 1 d10, just one, and then one for my hunt. Alright, let's... Hey, that's a 10.
Nice.
Okay. There is a crunch of bone and flesh as you squish this moth, and thick, syrupy red blood just drains out into the tunnel, and you can see that it's trickling down away from the room and down into the heart of the down into the heart of Baffling Din. And sorry, Sam, were you about to say something?
No, that's gross.
Sorry.
As you pull the piece of wood back up, you can see that there's the bony wings and things have all just been shattered, and just that thick, syrupy blood is just dripping down the tunnel towards the center.
Ugh.
Can I do like a discern occult now that we're seeing that to see to try and figure out just how deep this is and
Sure.
how
You'd be able to follow it with one of those rolls. With a roll. I mean, you know how to basically plug into Baffling Din to get information from it, because you built it and control it. So,
8.
An 8, okay. For the first time in a long time, you get lost in Baffling Din. Something keeps putting roots and curves and turns in front of you to keep you from doing what you're trying to do. You see parts of Baffling Din you have not ever seen, shops that didn't exist, moments before, walls and barriers around corners that you were 100% certain were freely walkable. But nobody knows the city like Mellifera knows Baffling Din, and you find yourselves so deep into the structure of Baffling Din that no outside light breaks in. It's just alleyways and walls and brick and wood, and the veins of this infestation all seem to lead to this one sewer grate.
Am I able to go with Vantage to try and locate this in the city?
Oh, I'm assuming you're following.
Oh, we're walking.
Yeah. You didn't just get visions. You've been trying to follow it. And
okay.
That's. It took you the longest you've ever had to take to get anywhere. and but now you stand in front of this thing.
Okay. Do we ask the pups?
If they have a grenade? I mean, I think your insects are valid. I think we should let them know that we're going to open up this grate and see what's inside.
They seem to be behind all the grates, but this is...
Is there a pup around?
At a certain point, you are just in the still silence. For the first time, there's no noise. Nobody around. Buildings around here seem to be boarded up.
Is this by any chance the area that the pups were reporting seeing the druids in?
They didn't give you very specific places because it's kind of hard to specify alleyways and things in Baffling Din. But you find yourselves truly alone down here.
Don't like it.
You know, I didn't think that our mayor would let places be empty.
I'll remind you, Mellifera, that you have dreamt of silence.
Oh, it's that. Oh, cool. Yeah, cool. Don't like it. This sort of quiet is not a part of Baffling Din.
What?
One of the ways in which we keep Baffling Din safe is the noise.
All right. Okay.
An area kept silent is an area not kept safe.
If the silence can emanate from anywhere, it is emanating from this grate.
So, what we're going to do, Mellifera, is we're going to lift this grate and take care of whatever's under it. And by take care of, I'm pretty sure I mean, like, utterly destroy.
Mellifera's looking to see if Vantage has taken out their guns.
I mean, yes. It's right. It's on the back at all times, right? So we're just like, it's right here.
But, like, maybe it should be out.
So you each grab onto a side of the grate and pull it aside. And then lean over to take a look to see what is beyond this deafening silence. When Baffling Din was founded, the Apiers, guided by Mellifera, had to create a power source that sort of channeled the strange arcane energies of the cosmic hive that they call, that kind of guide them. And what you see down here is a vast void. Just blackness. But, and floating in the middle of it is the blue, glowing, crystalline occult structure that was first assembled in order to power the things that were going on in Baffling Din. But the strange red creatures, they cling to it. And you can see in the darkness tendrils of vein, much like the tunnels, but instead of being tunnels, actually being red pulsing veins that are all reaching out towards it, and periodically a moth just shoots out of the end of one of the veins and just gloms onto the crystal. And more are arriving. You can hear faintly the sound of Baffling Din, the counter song to the heart song. But with every moth that grabs onto the crystal in the center, it gets quieter and quieter. And that's where we'll leave episode 6 of The Heart. So there you go.
Thank you for not having a moth fly into my mouth.
That was very distressing.
Yeah, and on you roll a 10, and I'm like, okay, the moth will fly into your mouth.
That's a success.
You win. Well, you keep asking questions of the bug, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this, and then I just like, what's the weirdest thing I could do? And that's usually my guiding light. Is like, what is the weirdest thing that can happen right now? Let's do that. It could have been it down in that sewer, and then we would have had a clown situation. So I saved you from that. Doing the dance. Anyway, there you go.
I've never seen it, so.
Oh, there's just an infamous dance that he does in the second one that. Interesting choice.
Okay.
Popular GIF. If you look, it's not scary. It's so strange. Anyway, this is another conversation.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we have one more episode left on Halloween, which is pretty exciting. And we're doing a giveaway. I want to remind everybody we're doing a giveaway. One more set of all the PDFs. So thanks everyone who's watched, and yeah, I'm Jordan. I'm at Made of Cartoons. I tell this strange story every other Saturday, and occasionally you can see me doing indie games or hosting fiascos. Yeah, I'm excited for all of the October Halloween spooks that are coming up. So that's me.
Thank you. Going in reverse order. Next up is Ryan.
I'm Ryan. On Twitter, I'm at the1truek, and you can find my games at archon.itch.io. And really exciting news. So the Wild Sea, which is a product I've been collaborating on, a game about sailors sailing atop a treetop sea that has consumed the entire world, is going to Kickstarter. We have a date, October 28th. Kickstarter is going to come out. Really, really excited about that. You can read more about it at thewildsea.co.uk. There is a free quick start guide, which is enough to get you through an adventure, even like a short campaign. There's a ton more material coming out with that. We also have a Discord now, so if you want to jump over there and get more information, we have test games going like 4 or 5 nights a week, and we have a couple of Fireflies who are trying to work with Greenwich Mean Time. Most of the games are based around Eastern Standard Time, but we also have some people in Australia, so we're trying to make sure that they can get in as well. So don't feel like your time zone's going to work against you. And yeah, one of the artists has been doing streams, so you can see like the art, which is absolutely gorgeous. You can see it happening. So yeah, a lot of really cool stuff. Really, really excited about that. So check out the game. It's super cool.
Heck yeah.
Very excited for that, as I say every time.
Next up is Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. Again, you can find me at Sam on Damiel on Twitter, where I tweet, but also I offer tarot card reading. So if you want to get your cards read in this spooky month, or literally any month, just send me a DM. We can schedule the time. It's 3 to 6 cards, depending on what the cards have to say to you. For $30, hit me up. We could talk about it. I got time. And you can find me here for Heart And on Tuesdays with Jess over on Salty Sweet Games, we play Burn Bright, and we are having a great time. There's been bug people, but no blood moths. And everyone has the correct number of teeth. So if you think this might be too spooky, Burn Bright, it's for you.
If you specifically think this is too spooky based on teeth numbers,
which we have established in this campaign, there is incorrect number of teeth, and it's all of them and none of them.
Which is the two settings of heart.
Two settings of heart.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Next up is Sharon.
Hi everyone, I'm Sharon. I'm on Twitter with the handle @chew_baka. I think my only streamed appearance scheduled right now I have is just our big series finale of Heart, which I am really, really hyped for. Please come back on Halloween. Same spoopy time, same spoopy place.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you all for playing. Gosh, this game. Gosh, this game is so good. Thank you, Jordan, for running it. Thanks everyone who hung out. Just a reminder, of course, we are playing this game with I'm saying this at the end because I didn't do it at the beginning. Safety tools. So you can always check out add safety tools into your games, please. And then you can comfortably play spoopy games, okay? Just do it. Get your spoop on, but also safely. Do it. Well, thank you so much to Roll20, who we are using for all our stuff. They have actually a con coming up next weekend, and speaking of Burn Bright, if you've been hanging out with me and Sam and Burn Bright, this one right here with two thumbs pointing at themselves is going to be running Burn Bright demos at Roll20 Con, so if you want to give that game a shot, check it out. I will be running some games. I'll be modding a bunch of events. There's lots of cool talks happening, lots and lots of cool stuff. That's next weekend. And then the weekend after that, hey friends, is our Hextra Life. So you should also come hang out for that, for all your spoopy games. And if you haven't already, you can sign up and try yourself some spoopy games. We'll be doing them and raising funds for Extra Life, which of course is a very wonderful charity focused on children's hospitals. And this game, the finale of this will be in there, right in there, just like nestled right in perfectly, almost as if it was planned to land exactly on Halloween. Almost
as though
like it.
Someone was so excited that we could do that with the timing we had after the other show ended. That they said it to everybody they knew over and over again until it happened. So you don't get chances like this. Halloween on a Saturday, you don't get chances like this.
So come hang out with us for that finale. I'm honestly genuinely curious what is happening in the library and also what is happening in Baffling Din. Both concerns. Doing me a heckin' concern, Jordan. Thanks so much. And thanks, of course, Roan, Rick, and Deckard for this amazing game. And come out Halloween, giving away the whole bundle. It's super heckin' good. Thank you all so much for being here. Normally we would go raid, but honestly, this channel is going to be back up in like 30 minutes. So just, go get yourself a drink and a snack and a stretch and then come back in 30 minutes. Because we'll be running around in space. But all y'all, stay good out there. Take care. Thank you all so much. And hope to see you all soon for more games. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you.